Welcome to Hidden Gems of Nature. This is our destination today. It's kind of an oasis out in the middle of the desert. There's no trail into this. You have to do some route finding to get into it, but it's a beautiful location. As you can tell, we're in the middle of some fall colors. Beautiful little water hole with some great foliage around it. Enjoy your hike as you discover this destination that we came to today. At Hidden Gems of Nature, I don't tell you what the destination is. Instead, I give you clues so you can explore and discover these hidden gems or your own hidden gems. So watch carefully as we identify clues to find these destinations. And remember, subscribe to Hidden Gems of Nature YouTube channel. You can see the Superstition Mountain silhouetted to the sunrise and our exit, and we'll head north into Apache Junction and head to our trailhead. So we're heading north in Apache Junction. Turn right and head towards the Superstition Mountains. And the trailhead actually starts right next to the lake. So this road, you don't need an off-road vehicle at all. You're on pavement the entire way to the trailhead. Okay, we're almost to the trailhead. We just have one last bridge to cross. And just after this bridge, we'll turn into the trailhead parking lot. So we're in the parking lot. I'll have my son Noah pan the parking lot so you can see where we're at. You see there's a nice sunrise there in the background as we get ready to head down the trailhead. What's kind of nice is in this parking lot they actually have trailhead parking. So they even have reserved parking for you hikers. Works out kind of well. Join us as we have a great time on this hike today. You have to walk out the drive entrance. We'll cross the street over to the trailhead. So the entrance to this trailhead has a Y right off of it, and go left as you come through here. There's 3 Ys on the trail. The first one, of course, is at the beginning of the trail. This is the second one. And then on the third one, you want to stay left as well. So as you can see from the pan, there's some beautiful views along this trail. There's a couple of points similar to the one that we're on. We're on probably the first point along the trail. But on these vistas, you can see the beautiful mountain formations to our west and to our east, and of course the lake back behind us to the north. Some really great views on this hike, but of course with those views comes some pretty steep hikes, so the first mile or two of this hike is pretty steep. I'll have my son continue to pan around, but you can see some of the cool rock formations and cliff formations along the side. So this is the view looking to the south from this same vantage point. You can see all the unique rock formations behind us, and you can see the canyon that goes way down below us. That's the canyon we're actually going to be hiking out of. These trails in the Superstition Mountains are waterfalls, mostly dry waterfalls, but if you come up on any of these hikes, after a good rain or snow, or after a couple of weeks of some moisture, there's some beautiful waterfalls along this trail, and this is one of them. All along the trail there's interesting rock and cave formations in the desert. You can enjoy some of these as you're hiking along. So there's a couple of really unique rock formations here. One of them right behind me, there's the prominent needle, but in the foreground from that prominent needle there's a mountain, and the top of the mountain looks like a corkscrew or a core sample. If you look on a map, it's actually a much more majestic name than that. There's a hike that goes to the top of it. One of these days I'll take that hike. I haven't been on it yet. So down below us is one of the creeks that we're paralleling up here on the ridge. We'll actually go down and hike across that creek and up over this ridge and come down in that creek right over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. We'll loop around and come back out that creek. So we still have a long ways to go, but it's going to be kind of fun to hike down through those creeks and washes. we've come down to the wash now. We've dropped off the ridge line and down into the wash. We'll now cross the wash. You can see the trail just on the other side. We'll go over this little ridge behind me and drop into another wash. And when we hit that wash, we leave the trail and we'll be route finding the rest of the way. Even the trail itself has some unique rock formations along it. We've hiked through a couple of them, and here's another one as we hike up and continue to hike to our destination. Here's the old house where either the miner or the cattleman lived, and there's even a bed if you want to backpack in a mattress. A couple of holes. I don't know if this was the start of a mine shaft or what it was, but you can see that the house was built actually back here in the rock. You can see one of the walls up here. This is the location where we leave the trail. The trail comes right over this ridge from the other creek or the other wash that we were in. And then, and it crosses right here, it crosses this creek. Last year at this time, this creek was a roaring mountain stream because we had had so much moisture for 2 years. And I'd be crossing in knee-deep water, but this year we haven't had a lot of water. So we're actually, instead of crossing and going up and down the trail, we're gonna actually hike out down this trail. So it's all route finding from here, rock hopping, boulder hopping, and heading out this way until we get back to the lake. We just came through that. So when I say route finding, it really is route finding. When I came in here 9-10 years ago, these reeds weren't here. So we just came through that, pretty thick, opens up a little bit so the route finding won't be so hard. It rained a couple weeks ago, so I guess there's enough rain to hold water for a few weeks or in these pools on top of the rocks. As the canyon narrows, we'll get closer to our destination. Even though this is a loop hike, there is one destination on the loop hike that I'd like to be to. That monolith in front of us is one of the landmarks you're going to want to be familiar with because we are very close to our destination when you can see that. I don't know what these are. I call them the twin sisters. But we're down into the narrows now. You can see how narrow this part of the canyon gets. We're pretty close to the destination that I've come on this hike for. But there's another unique rock formation that's kind of cool. Nice hidden gem. This is my son as he's approaching our destination. I was in here 8 or 9 years ago. It was really cool. It'll be interesting to see how it looks this time. So this is our destination today. We finally made it. This is a loop hike, but about 3/4 of the way through the loop hike we come to this destination. This is the reason I came on this hike. There is no trail into it, as we've mentioned all along the way. You have to route find into this section of the hike. The first 60% is not route finding. But as you can see, this is really a cool place. You've got these large boulders. We're in a corner of a narrow slot canyon. It's not really a slot canyon, but this portion of the canyon is a narrow section like a slot canyon. And the water pools up here, and so the willow trees are thick and tall and dense and beautiful. The water is great. We'll look and see if we can see some turtles and fish. I know in the past when I've been here, we've seen turtles and fish. We'll see if we can get a couple of pictures of those. Enjoy yourself as you hike into this destination. This is kind of cool. It's a reflection of the cliff in the pond, and as we come off the pond and go up the cliff, you can see some of the unique rock formations. As you can see, this little narrow section of the canyon has some really unique rock formations. My son Noah, he'll scan up to the rocks behind me. You can see all kinds of unique formations up that face. It's kind of neat. You might even be able to hear me echo. There's some echoing going down on the canyon because it's so narrow, but it's really quite pretty and lush down here. We've been out in the desert, and now we come into this oasis of green. It's really neat. Another unique formation. It's a waterfall up behind me. It flows right down into the creek. Not very often you see an area in the desert where the ground is completely covered with leaves. Guess it gets deep here on occasion. Don't want to be here in the heavy rains, huh? We're sitting down in the canyon eating lunch, and I looked up, had a little window rock right above us. Kind of a cool little hidden gem while we were out here. Look at that, just packed jammed. It's like we're in a dense forest when we're in the middle of a desert. Opposite the canyon from the window rock where we're sitting in the shade eating are these pinnacles just above us. They're also quite unique, really pretty. As we were hiking out, we came across this rock formation. It's got kind of a unique look. I guess you could call it Cerberus, the three-headed dog in mythology, or you could call it Fluffy in Harry Potter. My daughter thinks it looks more like a mitten. I think she's right. So we come around this corner on the loop hike, and we've arrived at the lake. So we have a couple of choices. Swim back. Oh wow, there it is right there. There's the end of the lake. Kind of pretty in here. I think we'll opt out of the swim option, and we actually will hike the face to our right and back a little bit. So if you want to remember how to get out of here, that's how you get out. Once you get to the lake, you climb up the right side of that face, or have somebody meet you with a canoe.